وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. First of all, I just want to tell you all, Jazakumullah khair for coming. That's first. Jazakumullah khair for coming. Thank you very much for coming. Can I see you? Come out a little bit. Don't go in the corner. Oh, Jazakallah. Shukran. Come out. Don't go in the corner. I just want to see you guys close, please. Can you come forward, please? Come forward. Please. You are young guys, man. Come forward. Yalla. Come forward, guys, please. Yeah. Jazakallah khair. Shukran Amir. So Jazakumullah khair for coming. Thank you all for coming. Really appreciate you. It's always a pleasure, and it's always an honor to meet with you. Can I tell you a secret? Don't tell anyone I tell you this. Yes. Whenever I meet you guys, I feel young again. You know, already I'm the youngest here, right? Yes. That's right. So whenever I meet with you, I feel cool. I feel good. Sheikh Ilyas, what is the theme of today's youth program? Being cool as a Muslim. Okay. Someone else? Anyone else? Sheikh Ayman? Okay. So the theme for today's youth program is revive your spiritual hygiene. Revive your spiritual hygiene. Be cool and a Muslim. Okay. I don't want this to be like a lecture. You know what I'm saying? That I'm just going to be poured in the information and you just have to just kind of sit down like, yeah. No, not that. So it's not a kind of a lecture, just you just have to sit down and absorb all the punches, just listen to me. No. I want it to be an interactive discussion. I want to hear from you a lot. And I will speak just a little bit. So it's two-way street. And this is the best way to educate ourselves. It's mutual. I listen to you. I lend my ears to you. And you listen to me. So we meet in the, we have the middle ground, the middle way. Okay? So let me begin with this. So when we say revive your spiritual hygiene, be cool and a Muslim. What is the meaning of this word, revive? Is there anyone who can just tell me like a synonym or any other meaning close to the meaning of revive? How do you revive something? Fadal. Use the mic, please. Whenever you're going to answer, you have to come forward and use the mic. Turn it on. What's the meaning of to revive?
Bring back.
What's that?
Bring back.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Any other meaning to revive something? Okay, to renew. That's good. Okay? So to bring back, to renew, to rejuvenate, to bring something up and fresh again. So you're reviving it. Okay? To reboot, to revive, to renew, re-energize. Okay? So revive your spiritual hygiene. Spiritual hygiene. All we're going to talk about today, most importantly, is going to be in the context of your deen. In the context of the deen. So we need to revive our spiritual hygiene. So when we say be cool and a Muslim, from your perspective, what means to you to be cool? Give me an example. You can take the mic over there or take this mic. Anyone? Just give me one example like, when you do this or you act this way, you feel deep down in the core of your heart that you're cool. Or someone is cool. When you see him saying something, doing something, wearing something, acting the same way, he is cool. Any example? Yalla akhwana, come on guys. I told you it's not a lecture. I don't want you guys to be sitting, just look at me. I want to hear from you. Any example of being cool? I know you know. Yeah, you know it. Give me an example, guys. If you are not active, no dinner after the program. No dinner. Okay? And by the way, it's very delicious dinner, I suppose. So give me an example of being cool. Very good, mashallah. Okay? Give me any example. It's okay.
Being yourself.
Is that what's again?
Being yourself.
Be yourself, okay? Anyone else? Give me an example of being cool. You have the mic. Any example?
Going to the masjid.
Okay, going to the masjid. An example, brothers? So you don't have anything that you see that this kind of thing is cool to you, not to anyone else, to you. Yes?
Acting funny. You know, someone's nice.
Okay, okay. Anyone else? Give me what is cool to you. Just at least one example. Anyone else? Yalla shabab? Anyone else? Okay, let me reframe the question. Let me change. Tell me, like, in terms of the dress code, either it's a shirt or t-shirt or pant, which style you think is cool? Sneakers, shoes, you know? Tell me something cool. I see you guys smiling. You just don't want to speak out. You all have a lot of stuff in your head. So what is cool? Okay, it's okay. We're going to get to it. So now we want to be able to strike a balance. I hope you're listening to me. Tonight we want to strike a balance between being cool, but most importantly, being a Muslim. All right, so let me go to the end part. To you, who is a Muslim? I told you it's not a lecture. I want us to be, to interact with each other. Just raise your hand, please. You can give me any example, but tell me, to your understanding, who is a Muslim? Don't tell me you don't know. This is a masjid, it's not a church. It's not a synagogue. It's not a, any other temple. It's Muslim prayer hall. It's a masjid. Who is a Muslim? Give the mic to Sheikh Ilyas first, and then we go around. Everybody will give me one example. Just tell me who is a Muslim. Sheikh Ilyas is giving you the mic. Aywa? Who is a Muslim?
Who follows the Quran and the Prophet ﷺ.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Take it and then you pass it around. Who is a Muslim? Just tell me something.
Someone who gives the shahada.
Speak again, one more time.
Someone who gives the shahada.
What is shahada? Let them know.
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.
Okay, that's good. Anyone else? Take the mic, just raise your hand, take the mic, tell me who is a Muslim.
Someone that follows the 5 pillars of Islam.
Okay, that's cool. Let's go. Who is a Muslim?
Someone who prays 5 times a day.
5 times a day. Who is a Muslim? Please, I want you all to be part of this. Go ahead.
Someone who believes in God.
Someone who believes in Allah. Yes. Who is a Muslim?
Someone who always does good deeds.
Who does good deeds. Who is a Muslim? Many examples. Just tell me what is in your head.
Someone who fears Allah.
Someone who fears Allah. Anyone else? Who is a Muslim?
Someone who listens to their parents.
Someone is speaking in the back? Oh, speak in the back.
Someone who listens to their parents.
Who is what?
Who listens to their parents.
Okay, someone who is obedient to, his parents. Okay. Who is a Muslim? All this side, I don't see any action, guys. Come on, man. Who is a Muslim? Yes, come forward. Use the mic, please.
Someone who follows the 6 pillars of Iman.
Someone who follows the, 6 pillars of Iman. Okay. Give the mic to this young man. Who is a Muslim?
That prays for Allah.
Okay, mashallah. Anyone else? Who is a Muslim?
Someone that follows the deen.
Okay, very good. Who is a Muslim?
Someone who follows the steps of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, good. Who is a Muslim? Anyone else? Anyone? Okay, come forward, please. You finish Salah. Come forward. Join. Who is a Muslim?
Someone that believes that there is no God but Allah.
MashaAllah. Anyone else? Okay, so we can go on and on and on. So let me chip in here. Let me come in here and say a few words. All what you said is correct. All that you said. And those who did not speak out, what is in your heart is correct. Have a that. Because I know you have something to say. I believe that you have something to contribute. The Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Muslim, man salim al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi. This is one of the hadith. Al-Muslim, that a good Muslim, all right? A Muslim, man salim al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi, is a person whom other Muslims are safe and sound from his tongue. Min lisanihi. A Muslim is a person whom other Muslims are safe from his tongue, wa yadihi, and from his hand. So Muslims are safe from his tongue. In other words, he does not insult them. He does not backbite them. He does not slander them. He does not lie to them. So think about any kind of evil that you can inflict upon other people through your tongue, through the speech. So you seize that. You cut it out. You stop it. So you are following the good characteristics of being a Muslim. And you don't use your hand to steal from Muslims, to cheat Muslims, to beat Muslims, to kill Muslims, and do all different kinds of evil. So in a nutshell, that people are at peace with you. You are a good person. Muslims and non-Muslims feel good around you and safe around you. Al-Muslimu man salim al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi. This will take us to the definition of Islam, pillars of Islam, and you said it, that you bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship except Allah Azza wa Jal, that you testify that there is no any deity worthy of worship except Allah Azza wa Jal, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his slave and messenger. So that is the shahadatain. You establish the salah, the prayer. You give the zakah if you have wealth. You observe the fasting of the month of Ramadan, and you perform pilgrimage to Mecca. Perform Hajj if you can afford it. So basically, and there are many examples to explain. Now, I have some points here. I'm going to say one at a time, and we talk about it. My first question tonight: who is your role model, and why? This is just a general question. I told you before we get started, this is not like a typical lecture that I just have to do all the talking and you be dozing off. No, I want you to be actively engaged. So this is the first question tonight. Who is your role model and why? Raise your hand. Let me see how many guys are ready for this. Please. Please, I have one, I have two, I have three. I see your hand fluctuating like this. Okay, so 4 guys, 5. So you get the mic. So go ahead. Who is your role model and why?
The Prophet Muhammad.
When you speak clearly so that everybody will hear. Get the mic closer. Go ahead.
The Prophet Muhammad, because he was like the best of creation.
Okay, so you heard what he said. I don't have to repeat, mashallah. Take it to Elias, and then we go around. Who is your role model and why? Sheikh Elias?
Muhammad alayhi salam. To follow him, you can survive in your dunya and akhirah.
Okay, mashallah. Okay, so far so good. Same question. Who is your role model and why? Anyone else, please? I want you guys to be actively engaged, please.
My parents. My parents.
Your parents, okay, mashallah. And why? So tell me who is your role model and why. Go ahead.
Because they're good people.
Okay, mashallah. Okay, who else? Who is your role model and why? Use this mic here, please. You raise your hand, right? Can you pick this mic, turn it on, please? Who is your role model and why?
I said my parents,
Okay, and why?
because they've gone through the same experiences that I have.
Okay.
They're-
All right. Anyone else? Who is your role model and why? Okay. So I know you have many answers. I know. And, you know, to some young folks, they are role model, maybe some musician, because I just kind of love his music, man. The lyrics are cool. The words are just, you know, I relate to what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe someone who is just, you know, a rich person out there or a celebrity. Or, you know, you have your answers, you know, someone, oh, you know what? He's a good football player. I love him. I want to be like him. Or, you know, soccer player. You know, he's my role model. I'll just give you an example. Why? Because, wow, in just 1 month, he gets paid a lot of money, man. So I just want to be like him. It's just kind of cool, you know? Or maybe this guy that he has very fancy car, beautiful, you know, car. I just want to, and so people have, you know, their reasons. They have their role models and why. And so, مرحبا بالشيخ. أهلا وسهلا. مرحبا بالشيخ. So the best answer here, the best role model is our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes. And it's never too late for you to get your act straight and get yourself together and refine and retune your priority. Your best role model, period, is our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, with all due respect, I know your parents are good people. There is no question about it. No question about it. Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Quran, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر وذكر الله كثيرا. Indeed, in the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you have a good example to follow. So your best role model is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And why? Because Allah Azza wa Jalla chose him. Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jalla revealed to him. Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jalla taught him the deen. Why? Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with the guidance to remove humanity from the darkness of ignorance to the light of Islam. So if you follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you will be successful in the life of this world and in the hereafter. And yes, your parents also, and your family, and your brothers, and your peers, and your friends, they all should look up to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he is our role model. And why? The answer is clear. Destination Jannah. The flip side of the coin is that if you choose any human being to be your role model, he might be going the wrong way. He might be acting out. He might be doing things that are not right according to the deen. So you choose the best role model. And no one on the face of the earth, no one is better as role model than the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My next question. So let me stop here for a second. Any question about this point? After each point, I'll give you a second if you want to follow up, or you want to clarify, or you have any question, and so forth. Any question about this? Point number 2. Who do you deal with? Sorry, how? How do you deal with stress and peer pressure? So it's a compound question. How do you deal with stress and peer pressure? So the floor is yours. Who's going to go first? So make sure when you give me the answer, you include both. So when you are stressed out, you understand? When you are stressed out, how do you deal with it? And how do you deal with the peer pressure? Peer pressure means that, you know, you have friends out there, you hang out with them, and, you know, I get it. Sometimes You know, they want you to do stuff, you don't want to do it, or you don't want to do it, or you feel pressure that you have to be equal with them, act in a certain way, do things in a certain way because you guys are friends. You know what I'm saying? So you want to just like fit in, quote unquote, fit in, because your friends are doing this, so you just want to be like a bird within the flock of birds. They say that birds on the same feather flock together. So who's going to go with this? How do you deal with, stress and peer pressure? Please come forward and use the mic. I want to make sure that tonight everybody will say something. Don't just be quiet. Go ahead.
How I deal with stress is that I organize myself and think of how I can make it better. And how I deal with peer pressure is that I think to myself, I use common sense. And if it's like something not smart, I won't do it. Yeah.
Okay. It's good to hear from you, man. Smart young man. Anyone else? How do you deal with stress and peer pressure? You all young guys here. Sometimes, you just feel like it's too much stress on you, man. And sometimes I give example, you hang out with your friends and then there's a pressure on you. The way they do things, the way they say things, the way they dress out and all that. So the peer pressure, they want you to fit in, they want you to be equal with them. So you feel there's a pressure on you. How do you deal with this? Come on, guys. Anyone? Anyone? So you tell me you don't have no stress, you don't have no peer pressure. Use the mic. Go ahead.
You just do the right thing for peer pressure.
Okay.
For stress, you just calm down.
Okay.
And know that it's Allah's plan, so just relax.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Can I hear from you guys? MashaAllah. Go ahead.
To deal with stress.
Is the mic on?
To deal with stress, I usually go outside and skateboard or bike around. And to deal with peer pressure, I don't really surround myself with anyone that would put me in a position where I feel peer pressured.
Okay. Okay. MashaAllah. Anyone else, Ikhwan? Shabab? Can you bring the mic, Zakaria, please, to Sheikh Ilyas? I really want to hear from you guys. That's why this is your time, it's your night. Vent out, speak out for the Sheikh Ilyas.
The way I deal with stress is say astaghfirullah, la hawla wa quwwata illa billah, pray rak'atain. Always remember that Allah has a better plan for everything. And alhamdulillah, I have a strong personality. I don't have any issue with peer pressure. And if I have any friends, to make sure they are aligned with my beliefs and things that I like to do.
Okay, mashallah. So anyone else? How do you deal with stress and peer pressure? Okay, I will make 2 points here. First, you have to have Iman. You have to have strong Iman. So when you are stressed out, as Sheikh Ilyas mentioned, when you are stressed out, keep your tongue wet with the remembrance of Allah. Like Zakaria mentioned. Know that everything is in the hands of Allah. Look, knowing full well that nothing can happen to you without the leave of Allah. Meaning, nothing can happen to you without the permission of Allah. Nothing will come to you or go away from you without the permission of Allah. Know that whatever you get is destined for you, is decreed for you. Wherever you miss out, whatever you didn't get, know that it's not meant for you. So when you are stressed out, just chill. Just relax. Yes? You may make wudu, okay? It cools you off. Pray rak'atain, 2 rak'ah, make dua. You can say, Allahumma anta rabbi. لا إله إلا أنت. Or you say this dua, Allahumma inni abduk, ibnu abdik, ibnu amatik, nasiyati biyadik, madin fiya hukmuk, adlun fiya qada'uk, as'aluka بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك أو أنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلبي ونور صدري وجلاء حزني وذهاب غمي. See this dua? This is the most important dua in order to relieve you out from stress and anxiety. That's why I'm telling you this. This dua is worth more than anything. It's worth more than any treasure. Allahumma inni abduk, ibnu abdik, ibnu amatik, nasiyati biyadik, madin fiya hukmuk, adlun fiya qada'uk, أسألك بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك أو أنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلبي ونور صدري وجلاء حزني وذهاب همي. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, any human being, any person who is going through hard time and difficulty and stress and anxiety and hard times, and he said this dua, believing in it and knowing full well that Allah Azza wa Jalla is in charge and that Allah Azza wa Jalla is in control. He said this dua, guess what? Allah Azza wa Jalla will remove you away from your hardship. Allah will remove you away from your anxiety, from your stress, from your difficult time. Guess what? And Allah Azza wa Jalla will replace for you good, coolness, and easiness. So Allah will give you good and relieve you, for the Shaykh, and relieve you from the stress. So I will just make some rough translation, some brief translation. You are saying, Allahumma, O Allah, inni abduk, I am your slave. Ibnu abdik, the son of your slave. Ibnu amatik, the son of your female slave. So referring to both your parents. Nasiyati biyadik. Nasiya, literal meaning is here, my forehead. My forehead is in your hands. But it means all my affairs. Everything about me, all my affairs is your hands. Nasiyati biyad madin fi hukmuk. It's already decreed. Madin fi hukmuk. Your ruling and decree is already, decreed regarding my affairs. ماضٍ في حكمك عدل في قضاؤك. Everything you decreed about me is just. And you continue to say, أسألك بكل اسم هو لك. I beseech you, I plead to you, I am making dua, I'm calling upon you. That's أسألك, I أدعوك. I'm making dua, I'm calling upon you. بكل اسم هو لك. With all names that belong to you. Meaning that بأسماء الله الحسنى وصفاته العلى. أسألك بكل اسم هو لك. I call you with all the names that belongs to you. سميت به نفسك, which you name yourself. أو أنزلته في كتابك, or the names which you revealed in your book, meaning الكتاب, Quran and the Sunnah. أو أنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك. I call upon you with your names which you taught any one of your slaves, any one of your creatures. أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلبي. I ask you to make the Quran ربيع قلبي. Rabi' is like the spring of my heart. Rabi'a qalbi, the spring of my heart. Mean the coolness of my heart. Wa nura sadri, the light of my heart. And you go on and on and on to the end. So basically, it's beautiful dua. You putting your affairs in the hands of Allah. I will make sure that inshallah I will make a copy of this dua and I will recommend to the brothers to send it to you all. So make sure that they have your information so they could send you the dua. So basically, this helps you in terms of dealing with the stress and anxiety. Another thing, what causes you the stress, try to change the condition in which you are. Do the best you can. Move yourself away from that thing that bothers you. So in other words, don't sit isolated, sitting alone, and then you just dwell upon what happened, just thinking about it all the time. No. So preoccupy yourself, engage yourself, change your mood. All these are some of the ways and means that you try to diffuse the stress and so forth. Now, dealing with stress also means that, I mentioned keep your tongue with the remembrance of Allah, read the Quran, and then get some advice, get some counseling and so forth. Peer pressure, you all said it. So basically you have to be very mindful. That's first and foremost. Be mindful of your association. Be mindful of those you hang out with them. Yes, you have to choose your friends wisely. Don't go out and don't hang out with bad friends, because they might pollute your mind, might give you bad advice. So when you go out with good friends, you know that you're all on the same page. MashaAllah, you give each other good advice and so forth. So, be mindful. Don't go with those who will just take you down to dunya and doing the bad thing, following the wrong path and so forth. This is just, briefly. My Sheikh is here, Sheikh Mohamed. Inshallah, he is going to also be chipping in and inshallah giving us more of his wisdom and his knowledge. Any question here? Do you have any follow-up on this? Okay. Our third point tonight. What is your preference in fashion and brand name? This is your copy, Sheikh. What's your preference in fashion and brand name? Anyone? I know you are young guys. Anyone would like to share with the group your preference in fashion and brand name? I know you all have your stuff. You all know what you want. Come on, guys, you're just laughing. So we have mic here and another mic here. Who's going to go first? You guys are too quiet. What's that? Oh, okay, okay. Can you use the mic so make sure that we get your voice on the record? Yeah, yeah. So say it and explain.
Haramain.
So what's that?
It's Khamis.
Oh, okay.
Clothing company, I think based out of Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Pretty
Okay.
slim fit.
Anyone else? What's your preference?
Don't be intimidated by him just because he mentioned Khamis. You're entitled in many other things.
Absolutely. Anyone, brothers? I want to hear from you. Sheikh is here.
Nike.
Okay, Nike. Anyone else? What's your preference? In fashion and brand name, what's your preference? Anyone else? Use the mic, please.
Designer.
What's that?
Designer.
Okay.
Zachary, is that a brand or just general designer?
Just a brand.
The high taste.
Anyone else? Hey, Shabab, I want to hear from you. So those who are quiet, it's like you don't have any preference? No preference in fashion and Fadal.
Hugo Boss.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, Fadal.
It has to be expensive.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got that. That's right. That's right. Doesn't want anything cheap. Yeah, that's right. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Gucci.
Okay. Okay. Any preference here, Shabab? Come on, it's okay. Just speak out. Go ahead.
Louis Vuitton.
What's that?
Louis Vuitton.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I have the mic. Give mic to the brother behind you, please. يا شباب بعد ما أعرف الشغلات هاي.
That's very expensive. All of them, mashallah.
Yes, please. Come closer, please. Naam.
Is it on?
Yes.
Alright. I don't really care about the brand. I just like plain jeans and a plain T-shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Play your taste. Good for you.
Yeah.
Regardless.
All right. Anyone else? Yes, please use the mic. And then we come to this side and see. Go ahead.
Simple and basics.
Okay, simple, basic. Anyone else? Fadal.
Polo.
What's that?
Polo.
Oh, sure, guys. What did he say?
I said polo.
Polo, yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. Anyone else? Yes, please.
Kurta Shalvar.
By the way, Sheikh Abu Ayman is learning from you.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Anyone else, brothers? Anyone else? شيخ عندك تعليق عليها؟ تعليق عام. Hey, تعليق عام. Okay. So basically I'll tell you what. Listen. Barakallah fik, jazakallah khair. In general, listen to me guys. In general, there is nothing wrong for you to wear a decent cloth, something nice on you, as far as your parents can afford it, and as long as you are not extravagant, you get what you want, you appreciate Allah Azza wa Jal first, and then you appreciate, Jazakallah khair, and then you appreciate your parents, you know. So there's nothing wrong with that. But having said that, I just want you to be very mindful of, you know, at-tashabbuh. That is imitation. When I say imitation here, I'm talking about the bad imitation, in a bad style. So just give you an example, just a couple of examples. You know, I get it. I see young guys, sometimes they wear pants, and then they don't wear the pant well as they're supposed to. It's just halfway down and halfway up. So I know you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Halfway down and halfway up. That's not right. Yes, please. He's asking me, what do I mean by halfway down and halfway up? So he is not wearing the pant in a nice way. His underwear is showing. His underwear is showing because the pant is not, you know, it's not tight and he's not putting his pant well. So this is a bad imitation. You have to look nice and dress well. You know, as a Muslim, you have the Islamic adab, the good etiquettes. You look Muslim, you look presentable. And I believe that when you go for job interview, you don't want to go in any kind of way and showing your underdress or underpants. You know, they're going to fire you before you get to the gate. That's even if you get in. That's right. So just be very mindful of that. And second, sometimes we wear dress very, very, very like revealing. It shows all of your body. No. You wear a cloth or a dress to cover yourself. So don't wear anything that is too much revealing of your skin as if you are not wearing anything, okay? Or something very, very, very tight on you, describing your body. So just general, okay? Other than that, you know, mashallah, if your parents can afford, buy you something nice, and you know, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, appreciate it, and don't be extravagant. Don't be too demanding if you know that your parents have no means and they cannot afford a particular brand name because it's too expensive. Just say alhamdulillah with whatever is available, whatever your parents can afford to buy for you. Do you understand? So this is just general. Any follow up on this? شيخ عندك تعليق عليها؟ طيب.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As Sheikh Abu Ayman said, when it comes to the sense of fashion,
It depends. You hear it actually at different answers, and you see that. And that shows in each of you has a very unique personality, even in the scope of what you like to wear. So the bottom line, as the Sheikh actually explained, is that there are no specific fashion line or ways of wearing, especially for male, Muslim male to wear it. That's why you will see lots of Muslims who came from different backgrounds and different countries in Muslim land. Each of them, they either embrace the tradition look of their clothes, especially male, or they wearing it different things that they think, they can keep up with a modern, clothes or style. When I was listening to you, I mean, many of you really had a very high taste, which basically means some of you even mentioned names that if you want to buy even t-shirt of those lines, we're looking for $180. So it's good to have that taste, but we're coming back what Sheikh Ayman said. Is our family actually capable financially to pay for that? Or are you going to just be stubborn about it and say, okay, all my classmates who are capable financially to pay and buy it, no, I want to be like them. So in every aspect in your life, when you look at it, and this is part of it, you need to think back and said, okay, I really liked two of my young brothers who said basic and simple. You can always choose the color that you're looking for, the style that you're looking for. And you can even get a t-shirt or a shirt or pants that actually costs you $40 or $35, but when you wear it, you look really cool. And your classmate will look at you and they will say, wow. At that moment, if you claim and said, okay, oh, this is actually from, this type or that fashion line, nobody will, disbelieve you. Why? Because the way you presented yourself, the way you coordinate the color that you wear in it. So what I would like just to say is, in our deen, the bottom line is the libaha, which basically means it's permissible. But when it comes the term that you're imitating somebody, you're actually leaving your identity and you're looking for validation from somebody else. So it's almost you making yourself a copy of somebody else. And you know that, I mean, you are a very unique human being. On top of that, you are a believer. Basically means you are the one who actually others needs to be looked up to.
Barakallah fiik. Let's go to the next point. What is your sense of belonging in Canada? You all live in Canada. I want to hear from you. Your own perspective, your understanding, your belief. What is your sense of belonging? What makes you feel you're Canadian? What makes you feel you belong here? How do you fit in? How do you assimilate? I just want to get something from you. I want to hear from you. What is your sense of belonging in Canada? I'll begin from the right, going to the left. Anyone, brothers? You have the mic over there. What is your sense of belonging in Canada?
Or even if some of you from the States, you belongs to the States. Nothing wrong with that.
يا إخوان يا شباب. You use the mic, please. What is your sense of belonging? Let me give you an example. Look, you live in Canada, right? What makes you Canadian? So in the simple meaning, what makes you a Canadian or American or a Westerner? What makes you Canadian? What makes you American? What makes you a Westerner? Any special, attitude?
Don't be afraid of. I mean, I'm sure some of you will say, oh, okay, if I'm missing Canadian, then people will look at me. No, you are Canadian. Majority of you, how many of you born in Canada? Just raise your hand.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Then you have the answer then. Answer the question then.
Answer the question.
You are Canadian. So why you think you are Canadian?
Anyone? Use the mic, please. You go first.
Maple syrup.
All right. It's a maple syrup. That's right. Okay, use the mic. Come, please. Just be yourself. Feel free.
A Canadian hoodie.
Oh, Canadian hoodie. Okay. في Canadian hoodie. إيه. ما شاء الله. Hey. Anyone else? Anyone else? Please come forward and use the mic. Just feel free. We're here to listen to you and to advise and counsel. Yeah.
My passport.
Okay. Passport. Okay. That's right. Anyone else? What is your sense of belonging? Come on, use the mic, please.
Tim Hortons.
That's right. Okay. Anyone else? Well, what makes you feel you Canadian? Fadal.
The freedom to practice what I want.
Okay. The freedom to practice, what I want. Anyone else? Yes, please.
When I look at a product and it says made in Canada.
Okay. Made in Canada. Okay. Take the mic.
Be a citizen in Canada. Being a citizen in Canada.
Oh, being a citizen. Okay, good. Anyone else? Brothers? Anyone else? Is that all the sense of belonging? Is that all what makes you feel, like you Canadian? That's all? Fadal.
The French writing on any items you purchase?
One more time?
The French writing on any items you purchase?
French. Wow, that's right. Yeah. Yes, please use the mic.
I was born in Canada.
Okay, right? Absolutely. He's born in Canada. Anyone else? Sheikh, give us your ta'liq. Okay, go ahead. Give him the mic.
Hockey.
Okay.
Hockey.
Oh, hockey. Okay, listen to Sheikh.
What's unique about Canada? I think maybe that's another way of putting in this question.
Diversity.
What? Yeah.
Yes.
Zakaria? Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead. Turn on the mic.
The beauty of Canada.
The beauty of it. I agree with you.
It's always snowing.
Snow. And raining, right?
Belongs to means, like, for example, you come from a family. So if somebody asks you where you belong to, you will always say, okay, I came from the family so-and-so, especially from your parents. Sometimes people, they go to the next level and they will say, okay, you are Canadian, but originally where you come from. And then you started actually telling them. But I found not in your generation. I want you not to be shy. If somebody asks you where you originally come from, you will say, I come from Canada, because absolutely you're born in Canada. Your parents originally come from a different part of the world, but you, new generation, you're Canadian. Canadian basically means that everything that your colleagues or other brothers, they actually answered. But one of the things that you need to look about being Canadian is what you can offer to Canada, being a person who born in Canada.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. And, Sheikh explained it very eloquently. One of the brothers here mentioned, I don't remember who exactly, he said the freedom to express himself. And I want you to not take this for granted. Look, there are people in some part of the world, they have no freedom to exercise their religious right. I'll tell you what, there are some places, some countries in Muslim world, when you go to the masjid for 5 times prayer, Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and constantly going for prayers, They watch you. What do I mean? You be in trouble. It's like you're too good Muslim. But when you go to club 5 times a day, or you frequent club, no one cares about you. So alhamdulillah, I'm saying this to say that you have the freedom to establish your deen. So this is something we have to appreciate Allah Azza wa Jalla. And now, yes, talking about the freedom here, yes, some people go overboard in terms of what they deem to be freedom. So we should take it in the context of the deen. That, alhamdulillah, that we have the opportunity to be in this part of the world. We can have our good education. Don't forget where you came from. Sheikh mentioned that. As long as you are not a native, then you came from somewhere. Your parents came from somewhere. Do you understand? As long as you are not from the natives, then your parents came from somewhere, or your grandparents came from somewhere. So look back, appreciate what you have, and don't take other trend and other way. Some people want to just assimilate. They just want to blend in. In other words, everything goes. As long as you are Canadian or American or Westerner, everything goes. No, we as Muslims, we take the good out of it. You know what I'm saying? We take the good out of it, and anything else which is not Islamically sound, which is not Islamically correct, you discard it. So in other words, to have a sense of belonging in Canada, look at it in perspective of, mashallah, establishing your deen. Allah has given you opportunity that you might not have in another place and so forth. So take advantage of it and be grateful. Let me go to the next question or next point. Fadal. Oh, give him the mic, please. Fadal.
Another wonderful thing is having the right to be able to vote and be able to have to change or impact which party is in charge. In other parts of the world and countries, they don't have that right.
Sheikh Ilyas made it very clear. You have the opportunity to vote. And I know this is also another topic and another subject, but yes, your voice counts. And one way or the other, you may influence positive change. And you have even some Muslim scholars who say that, no, don't vote. Don't vote because there is no, like crystal clear, that it's haram, it's between haram and halal. We'll say that, no. Even those who run for the office, even none of them is Muslim, but you look at someone that you think that he has, good with him and, his agenda, in a nutshell, he looks out for the poor, the needy, public good in general, public good. You choose akhaf ad-dararain, the least of the two evils. Choose the least of the two evils, but staying away and refraining from vote for whatever is the reason might not be in the best way, especially when we as minority live. We have to have our voice, we have to have vote, and that, Allahu A'lam, we might have an influence or a positive, we can also, have our impact in the decision-making process. Right. What influences your opinion? Okay? What influences your opinion? So raise your hand. I'll give the mic to Sheikh. Let's listen to you, and then Sheikh will, follow up on that. What influences your opinion? Before you make an opinion, you make a decision, you make a judgment, you decide to do something. What influences your opinion? Let's listen to you. Fadal, use the mic, please.
What my friends and family say.
Friends and family. Okay. Anyone else?
Let me just say this. This is really important. This is how you view your life, the lifestyle of others, what makes you really happy what makes you make a decision. So it's really important that you need to respond. When I'm saying respond, I'm expecting all of you.
Want to hear from you, brother. Go ahead.
My past experiences.
Past experience. Anyone else? Let's hear from you. What influences your opinion, your decision-making process? What helps you to process, to make a decision?
If it's a good or bad idea.
Okay.
But what's the source of influence? What remembers some brothers that
Me.
say friends and family,
Me.
past experience? You, basis your experience.
Use the mic,
Fair
please.
enough.
Don't be shy, brother. Speak up.
Personally, whenever I want to make a decision, it is on, yeah. Can you hear me now? Personally, when I try to make a decision, first of all, I look for the Islamic ruling. I see what the scholars say, is it allowed? And then I look for what the best route is to take.
Perspective of what's permissible, what's not. Great. For this one, seriously, very important. So if you're not raising your hand, I'm going one by one. How's that? Because this is really important.
I think what can influence me is also like the consequences of my decision, like looking into what's going to happen if I do it.
Good critical thinking by looking in every aspect of it and then see what that will be.
Use the mic.
Zakaria. I'm really interested in the back here.
I look to see if it's beneficial for me.
Speak up a little bit.
I look to see if it's beneficial for me, and if it will help me out.
Your level of education?
Family.
Family.
If I were making a decision, I would make my decision based on the information I have on whatever I'm making a decision about, I guess. So, yeah.
Basis on what is beneficial for you. Okay.
I'd see how it benefit me.
Yeah, my past experience.
The situation I'm in. My surroundings.
Your surrounding, which is, it's a big classmates, friends, neighbor, parents, siblings, which ones? All of them.
How it's gonna influence me in the future or affect me in the future.
My morals.
Okay. Inshallah.
Here you are.
See, Sheikh is keeping you guys engaged.
Yes,
That's good.
you should. This is a really important questions. Makes you who you are. Do you always listen to mom and dad? You listen to Zakaria, Sahal, or you make your decision?
My family members and
So you take the wisdom
classmates, teachers, sheikhs.
from everybody. You're very nice.
Based if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Based on the positive and negative outcomes.
If it's gonna like benefit me or like do yeah.
What will make a difference?
Ooh, mashallah. Mashallah. Here.
opinion, just trying to gain different perspectives of the situation and just how to approach it.
I'm pretty sure everything has already been said. And just everything that they all said in one. That's my opinion, right?
Everything's been said.
Is there anything new you will add?
If you have like a personal connection with a teacher, then you take his advice.
So if you have a role model, you could be a teacher, it will influence your opinion. Go ahead.
Do my research.
Those are really beautiful answers. MashaAllah, some of you are so deep, really. With the age, the young age you are, but some of you really, really deep. And I hope that is the real personality of you. Not because you want to share and you learn, but that is your real personality. And for all those answers you gave us is actually not only for you, but it's also for us. There was many answers that I'm really moved by when some of you were answering. And I said, MashaAllah, my youngest already know what direction they're going to. So this is really another good news that we are not worried about you as we taught. MashaAllah.
It's very important that, in a nutshell, before you make an informed decision, very important. First, you should know from where you're coming from. So in other words, I'll make it very short and sweet. Look at it in the context of al-halal wal-haram. Look at al-halal, what is permissible, what is lawful. Look at al-haram, what is unlawful. So from the Quran, from the Sunnah, from the ways of as-salaf as-salih, the righteous predecessors, get advice from people of ilm, people of knowledge, in consultation with your parents, with people who are elder than you, people who are more experienced in you, so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's very important because, you know, people have gone through thick and thin. People have gone through stages of life. So by getting some consultation, by making istikhara, you're seeking consultation with Allah Azza wa Jal. You're making dua, things that you have no knowledge, things that you don't have no clue, you don't know what is good for you, or whether it's good for you or not good for you. And yes, if you can get it straight from readings, from doing your research, from talking to some scholars, from your parents and so forth. But it's very important that you consult with people of ilm, consult with your parents, with your brothers, with friends who will, give you some good, advice. Let me move on to this point. What is your priority in this life? What is your priority in this life? I know you might not encompass everything, you might not say everything, but I want to hear something. If you cannot say everything, don't just leave it blank. Meaning, I want to hear from you, even if it's just one point. What is your priority in this life, meaning in this world, in this dunya? What is your priority? Each and every one should have a priority. It's like, don't be like a blind person who is just driving out, speeding, and it's like, hey, you cannot see the path forward. You know what I'm saying, right? You have no light of Iman. You have no guidance. So this is very important. You know where you're coming from. You know where you're going. So back to the question again. What is your priority in this life? I will begin from Sheikh Ilyas and spread out. Come forward. Give him the mic, please. Barakallah fikum.
To make sure to do enough good deeds in this dunya to have a higher status in Jannah.
Yes, it is.
You're relaxed. Yes.
To worship Allah.
To worship Allah. You can make it short and sweet. Give me a point or 2 points so we go around. We want to hear from you. Just think a minute. What is your priority in this life?
To get to Jannah.
Go to the point. Your priority in this life.
To worship Allah.
To worship Allah. Your priority in this life. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sure, pass it. Your priority in life.
To attain Jannah.
Attain Jannah. Priority in life.
To get Jannah.
Get Jannah. Priority in life.
To make my parents proud.
Okay.
To enjoy my life and go
To go to Jannah. To accomplish what I want to accomplish.
Good. I want to hear from you guys.
be the best Muslim I can.
It's the same question. What is your priority in this life?
To make it to Jannah.
To go to Jannah, I guess.
Fast. Fast.
Respecting Allah.
Okay. Your priority in this life?
To live my life like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
To be a good Muslim and be cool while doing it.
To be my best self.
Okay.
To go to Jannah.
Go to Jannah. Go to Jannah. Coming right here. What is your priority in this life?
I already said mine.
Priority in this life? Come forward a little bit, please. Help me out. Come forward. Priority in life? Come forward, please.
To be successful.
Successful. Come forward, Adnan. Adnan.
To be successful.
Successful.
Please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
MashaAllah. Please step forward. The mic is.
To be the best I can be.
Be the best.
To be the best.
No, you go the other way. I'm going to use you. I'm going to dedicate to you. So, wait, let me finish it. Speak up.
But we can pass it around.
He's thinking, so give him a chance.
Wait a second.
Can you come back to me?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I can. So you go ahead and come all the way here. So go ahead.
Basically what a lot of them said, just to amount everything I do to go to Jannah.
Okay.
Yeah, just end goal is to make it to Jannah, inshallah. So,
What was the question?
By the way, don't be shy to say something else.
Don't be shy.
I don't know the question. What's the question?
Because
What's my goal in life?
Okay. Help them out and keep going, please.
Can you come back to me?
yeah, go for it. Yeah, think
To
so.
go to Jannah.
To pray every day on time.
Self-improvement.
Okay.
To be the best Muslim you can be.
MashaAllah.
Wonderful. Back.
To be a good Muslim.
To go to Jannah. Go to Jannah.
Allahu Akbar.
To continue learning the deen.
Allahu Akbar.
Practicing my deen to please Allah.
To worship Allah.
Be a good Muslim.
To go to Jannah.
I guess to have stable mental health.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
He says you come back here.
Yeah. Zakaria.
Yeah, I remember you.
To take my parents to Mecca.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Anyone else? Anyone else? طيب شيخ علق.
Subhanallah. What it means, the question is, what's the most important things to you? So, to say, I'm going to Jannah, or to be a good Muslim, or to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is the highest wish or hope that you're working towards it. And that's actually the ghaya, or the reason that you live in this life. There's no doubt. However, there is other things that you need to be. So one of those answers I really liked was to be good in yourself. Was one of the brothers basically said that to be the best in you means a better human being. There was other answer here, and repeat your answer. Self-improvement. And repeat your answer.
Good mental health.
Yes. Without that, you cannot please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't have a stable mental health, if you don't have a self-improvement and you have that strength to continuously to improve in yourself, there is no way you're going to reach in anywhere. And you will find that in many verses in the Quran and also the teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how to improve yourself. That's why to have the best manner among the believers, it's considered the heaviest good deeds in the day of judgment that will take you to the second level to save you from the hellfire and be your key to enter the paradise. So don't be afraid if your priorities, some of it, it's actually material-wise. Because that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you too. You entitled on that too. The highest level, yes, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to have the strength to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What are the ways and means that if you do it, that you will be able to succeed and become a good Muslim? You can find that in the Quran in many ways. In many ayahs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that. One of the ayahs that I always reflect on, it's a simple ayah. In this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلَ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Whoever put his trust, who or she trusts on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will contain them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be enough for them. And I see that weekly, that ayah. In my life, I see that in weekly, if it's not day in and day out. Sometimes I have certain things I want to just, I have to-do list every single day, and I try just to accomplish those things, which is the simple things in life. And when I go home and I tick all the things that I've done, sometimes I succeed to finish it. My average is 7 or 8, and sometimes I ended up only 1 I accomplished. So when I reflect, and I always say to myself, oh, okay, this morning I never remind myself this ayah, because every morning I remind myself. One other thing that the Prophet ﷺ taught us is a beautiful supplication. Actually, this supplication came from a companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One day, the Prophet ﷺ was leading the salah. So when they did the i'tidal, which is you coming back from the ruku' and you make an i'tidal, and always, the imam will say, Sami Allahu liman hamida, and the rest of us, we make the 2 du'as the Prophet ﷺ told us. One of the Sahaba, he come up with his own supplication, which is رَبَّنَا لَكَ الْحَمْدِ كَمَا يَنْبَغِي لِجَلَالِ وَجْهِكَ وَعَظِيمِ سُلْطَانِكَ. Oh Allah, I will thank you, the thank that actually suits you, in a form that suits you, and also I glorify your greatness. So when the Prophet ﷺ done the salah, he said, who did that? Who said this dua? And the Sahaba, they kept quiet, include that Sahabi, because he thought he made a mistake. He come up with something new. And then the Prophet ﷺ repeat the question, who is that person? Then he come forward and he said, oh Prophet of Allah, I said this. And the Prophet ﷺ said, I received a message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you said that that the two angels that who write good and bad deeds, they fight for it what is equivalent as a reward, what you said. Because unto their terms and categories, they never had any reward for that. They never exposed to something like that, the greatness and the sweetness of that supplication. So when they went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, write it as it is, as that supplication, word by word, they will get the reward from it. This is one of the du'as when I learned, my respectful scholars, he passed away. When he taught us when I was 13 years old, I kept it, reading it, saying it, and it becomes really a habit for me. So if you really want to strive to reach your goal, remember your sources is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Barakallah fika, Sheikh. Just to add a word or two. Sometimes some of us, our priority in life is messed up. Some of us, we have no priority. We just go with the flow. You should be mindful. You should have a priority in life. And all what you said, mashallah, is good. That's why Sheikh is encouraging you. Don't be shy. Say what you want to have. Say what is a priority for you in this life. Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. وَابْتَغِ, and you should strive and work hard. وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ, and utilize that which Allah Azza wa Jalla has given to you in the wealth that you have to acquire Dar al-Akhirah, the home of the hereafter, meaning Jannah, like we all said. So work hard, your salah, your zakah, your sadaqah, good deeds in general, destination Jannah. Sheikh mentioned that's your higher priority. That's why Allah created mankind and jinn. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So everything you do, it should be ibadah, meaning worship for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, then you'll be rewarded. So your goal is Jannah, to be admitted into Jannah. وَبِتَغِ فِي مَا أَتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ. But let's calm down a little bit to this world. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. And forget not your lawful enjoyment in the life of this world. So you don't say that, because, my higher priority is going to Jannah, so I don't want the life of this world. Some people say they do zuhud. And zuhud means that I don't eat good, I don't drink good, I don't have good place, I don't have good car, I just walk barefooted. Get out of here. That is not zuhud. No, that's not zuhud. You missed the point. But yes, the destination is Jannah, your priority is Jannah. But while you are on earth, self-improvement. While you are on earth, I want to be happy. I want to live good. I want to have good knowledge. I want to have good family. I want to be a happy man. Do you understand? So there is nothing wrong for you to have a happy life in dunya. A good family in dunya. It's nothing wrong to be rich because you're going to use your wealth in the cause of Allah. That's what Sheikh is saying, because I don't want you to think because you are in the masjid, I want to go to Jannah. Everybody, I want to go to Jannah. Okay, me too. You're going to say me three. We all want to go to Jannah. But you don't want to be good? You don't want to improve yourself? You don't want to have good mental state? So while in dunya, have a good family. While in dunya, have a good education. While in dunya, be happy, enjoy the life of this world according to the right way. So there is nothing wrong for you to have money, a lot of money, because we have a lot of things we cannot do without the money. Do you understand? So in a nutshell, it's for you, it's what you make with this money. It's what you make with the success that you have in this life. Yes, but the higher priority is Jannah, because the life of this world is temporary. See, that's why Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he did well. Umar radiallahu anhu, he did well. Uthman ibn Affan, he did well. And then you have, some of the companions, Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, he did well. And some of the other companions, you know why? Because they got the wealth. They do everything that the other companions were doing, like the salat, fasting, and all other deeds. But aside that, they have the wealth. They have the purchasing power. So they use that wealth in the way of Allah, in the path of Allah. You can say, you know what? I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. Al-mu'min al-qawi khayrun wa ahabbu ila Allah min al-mu'min al-da'if. A strong believer, khayr, is better and beloved to Allah than the weak believer. لا يستوي القاعدون من المؤمنين غير إلى الضرر والمجاهدون في سبيل الله بأموالهم وأنفسهم. And many examples. So I'm saying this in a nutshell. Yes, we all want our final destination to be Jannah. But while in dunya, yes, express yourself. Don't put yourself in one box. Okay, khalas. Okay, what about self-improvement? What about good education? We have Islamic education, and then you have also any other thing that will improve you as a Muslim. Could you aspire to be a Muslim astronaut? Absolutely. So we can do more. Can you be a scientist? Can you be a doctor? So we want to hear from you. So be open-minded. As long as you follow the teachings of the Quran and the Sunnah, and you do righteous good deeds, you enjoin the good, you forbid the evil, there is a leeway and there is a latitude in terms of what you do and get closer to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Any follow-up, any comment on this? All right, let's go to the next point. How do you deal with the temptations? Have a lot of temptations. How do you deal with it? Please, want to hear from you. All right? Just tell us your strategy, your way, your style. You know what I'm saying? Your escape. How do you deal with the temptations and stuff? Use the mic.
I like preoccupy myself so you don't think about them.
Anyone else? Please. Could you do me a favor? Get up with the mic. Just go around a little bit. Yes? If you want to, give us your input. Ilyas,
yes. To memorize Quran and read the stories of the precious predecessors.
Precious predecessors. Anyone else? Raise your hand, please.
To listen to Quran.
Listen to Quran, okay? How do you deal with temptations?
Do you understand the question? It's your daily struggle. That's the question is. Your daily struggle. Whether you are riding the bus, whether you're going to school or college, whether you're dealing with your classmate, whether you're dealing with the peer pressure, whether you're dealing with the bullying, this is your temptation. Whether you actually eating a halal thing or you're not, this is your struggle. So you should have a stand. How you avoid this. You have to have a tools that how you will avoid this temptation.
Lowering the gaze.
I avoid putting myself in bad situations. So if I get invited somewhere that I know there will be a lot of fitna, I won't go. So.
That's how it is.
Embrace the fact that temptation is going to be in my daily life. So it just gets old at the point.
Elaborate.
So once it starts getting old, I'll just basically forget about it. So I embrace the temptation, like I know it's there, but then it'll just fade away.
Means you have the strength.
Yeah.
Okay. Behind you.
If it's if it's bad for me, right? Like I use common sense and I don't do it.
Elaborate.
For example, if I'm like tempted to do something, right, I use like my common sense, and I'm like, if it's bad for me, I won't do it.
Okay. Anyone else? Yalla Shabab. Anyone else? How do you deal with them?
How many of you are graduating this year from the high school? Raise your hand.
1, 2, 3.
How you deal the temptation of graduation ceremony? How? There's many things good in that graduation ceremony, as well as there is something are not allowed Islamically in that graduation. How you deal with it?
Okay.
Even those brothers who already did this.
I just look at what the outcome is going to be, and if it's bad, I won't do it.
Go ahead.
I would establish my morals and stay true to my character.
Just pass the mic, Don.
Just having an understanding of the short-term effects compared to the long-term consequences of whatever that temptation might be.
Beautifully said, yes.
I think about what my parents are going to think if I fall into those temptations.
Yes. Very good one. Yeah. Sometimes the decision is not only yours, you will affect also the rest of the family.
What's going to happen next?
Next. Yeah.
Anyone else? Father Sheikh. The mic is off, I think.
Don't go to the after party.
Oh, okay. Cut it out. Anyone else? Go ahead.
To make good decisions?
Good decision. Okay. Okay. Is it almost time for Adhan? 5 more minutes? Okay. We'll take all the 5. We'll take all the 5 minutes. Anyone else? Anyone else? Yes. Come forward and use the mic, please.
Give it to me. Yeah. Come closer.
Remembering the punishment of Allah.
Yes. True.
How's it going to affect me in the future?
I want them to engage. That's their answer.
One more time.
How's it going to affect me in the future?
Say that.
How's it going to affect me in the future?
Affect in the future, okay? MashaAllah. Anyone else? Okay, come forward and use the mic, please.
Surround myself with people who wouldn't do the bad thing.
Okay. Someone behind you?
Behind you.
Thinking if it's good for my deen.
Good for your deen, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Zakariya.
Say a'udhu billah.
Say a'udhu billah.
First process.
Right?
Yes, yeah.
Anyone else?
To eliminate the...
Anyone else? Sheikh, Fadal. Sorry.
I like to stay informed about just everything that's going on around me, because a lot of the times, whenever you have a fitna or something that Allah has made haram, it's made haram for a reason. And I like to just do my research, see what it is you're looking at, what you're putting into your body, what it is that you're saying. And a lot of the times I find that there is actually not just a religious reason to stay away, but also just a moral and like a physical reason as well. It's better for your body, better for your spirituality and your mental health as well, to just stay away from what Allah has made haram.
Do you guys understand that one? Very strong.
Very, very.
Very strong. Basically means... Yeah. Basically means that to engage yourself to be a reader, to read. And believe me, we are the nation of readers, but we don't. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first verses in the Quran was اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق. اقرأ. Iqra, it is our slogan. But how many Muslims, whether they're male or female, who read? When you read, also it will shape you and enhance your quality of human being. It shows in your manner and how you deal with others. It shows how you articulate your words and sentences with others. So it is really important. Sometimes your generation, see, our old generation, we took it for granted, and everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, haram, it's haram, everything it's halal, it's halal. Whether we learned, after that academically or learned from the shuyukh, but your generation have a different way of approaching, and that is why. And you guys always ask that question, which is good to do or to find the answer of why, because then you need to read.
Barakallah fik, Sheikh Habib. We're going to stop here and faddal, go ahead. Okay, so we only have a minute. Inshallah, we're going to go on for adhan, and after Maghrib prayer, we shall continue, inshallah. So our next point of topic of this discussion would be, how do you handle intimidation and bullying? How do you handle intimidation and bullying? So this is going to be our first point of discussion after the Maghrib prayer and after the Sunnah. So don't go away, especially we have delicious dinner, you know that, right? That's right.
So when we come back, inshallah ta'ala, we'll have that. We're trying to divide you into groups, and this is going to be in the form of scenario.
Very good. Very good. So to be continued after Salah, okay? Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik, inshallah ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu. Jazakumullah khair. Is there anyone who would volunteer to call adhan, inshallah?